In this exercise, we're going to draw three boxes or cubes in single point perspective. That means that we are going to use one vanishing point so that all the lines that define the lines that are not vertical or horizontal, all the other lines, diagonal lines, go back to this point. In other words, they always will align with this point. They can't align anywhere else. So let's clear our screen and begin. In this video, we're going to experience creating three boxes in a single point perspective. And to do that, we're going to use MS Paint. This is the version that's in Windows 11. And from that, we're going to do our setup. I'd like you to have your line set to 1 pixel. That's found over here under size. Oh, and I know this. Try to make it so that the window for paint is big enough so that you can see gray around what you're drawing. And if it's too narrow, it will collapse the ribbon and you won't be able to see some of the tools that I use. All right, but that looks like it'll work, so we'll leave it there. So I did set the line size to 1. The brush should be a simple brush. So the top one in the list, let me show you again, that was fast. This top one, okay? And we're going to draw a line across the center, and we're going to call it our horizon line. I'm going to choose a light gray. To do that, I'm going to do it just above center. And I'll draw my line. That is a line, but that's not what I'm after. So I'll click undo, Control Z, that'll work. I'll use this line drawing tool, so it'll draw a straight line. And now I'll start drawing that line. Now I want this line to be straight, and one way to guarantee it straight is if I hold the shift key. It kind of doesn't matter where my mouse goes, it will be straight. Now is that line size still good? Nope, it needs to be size 1. So I just changed that. So I think I'm caught up. Next thing I want to do is draw a line in the middle to identify where my center is. I'm going to be using that center over and over again, so it's required that I know where that's at. Okay, so let's switch to black. Our color now is black. We're going to draw 3 lines that's going to be the start of our box, and we're going to make these vertical lines. They need to be truly vertical, and to do that, again, I'm holding the shift key while I draw. We'll put one over here, one up here, and then let's put one on this side. We'll just kind of center it across that horizon line. Now this horizon line, it implies that it's the horizon, but it also, the other end of this horizon line is where your eyes are. And the perspective we're having is from a person's point of view of these 3 boxes. Okay, we're going to draw some other lines. These are going to be, I'm going to call these construction lines. What they are lines that don't necessarily make up the box. They might, but not typically. So we're going to draw one from there to the tip of that vertical line. Now I'm going to click away once, because if I click into here where this control is, this square or that, it's going to think I want to move that line. I don't want to move it. So I'm just going to click away over here. That will end that line's being selected. And I'll start another one. I'll go to the bottom and I'll stop there. That's good. And since I'm doing such a good job of that, I think I'll add these. These are called, these lines go to the vanishing point. So I'll get on the end of this one. That looks all right. And this one I'll start. Now here's a way I don't have to click away. If I just start from the end of one of those lines, that'll let me do it. So in this one line, I think I'll have to redo, well, because I didn't make it black before. So I'll click on it. If I hold the control key and hit my roller, I can zoom in. It gives me a lot more control. We don't have to be precise with this project, but sometimes it makes us feel better to be able to do that. So now I'll zoom back out. I'll hold the controller and I'll zoom back out. There's my drawing. I want it to be about 100%, 102, whatever. If I want it to be 100%, I can click right on there, but just make it so you can see it. So this vertical line we have now represents one of the corners of the front face of a box, a 3D box that we're going to create. Now we're not going to create a wireframe in that where we can see all of the edges of our box, like being able to see through it. So let's continue. I need to draw a horizontal line, and again, I'll get to this corner as well as I can and hold that shift key down. And this one I'll try to make it look like a cube, which just means that I'm going to try to make the top and bottom lines look similar. So I'll run that out to about there, and then I'll run a line from, I think from the bottom to the top. Again, since we're sketching, we're just learning. I'm not concerned about what this box looks like. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to get the idea of how it works. And I'll do the square off of this one and make that line straight. This I'll make more of a rectangle. So I'll go out there, and this one also a rectangle. And I'll kind of line it up. Am I holding shift key? Yeah, I am. Okay, and then I'll close off this rectangle's fourth side. I can also, let's see this line, it's pretty close, but I can get it to go better if I use the arrow key. I'll shift it over. Well, that was a long ways. Shift it back and maybe down. There, that seems better. Oh, and this one I'll just pull down. All right, so we have some squares. Let's take a look. We have this line over here, and we're going to draw those same gray lines. Oh, by the way, I'm going to click away. That makes stop editing this, which is good. Now I can change the line's shade, make it that light gray. So we'll add the construction lines from here to our vanishing point. So in our drawing, all the boxes that we draw in this, the lines will have an orientation. They'll either be vertical, or they'll be horizontal, or they'll go back to this vanishing point. And that's an important distinction to note, that all lines are connected to this vanishing point unless they're vertical or horizontal. Okay? So now this box, change color, make it black, and I'll just bring it out to there, bring another one out to the same place, roughly, and then I'll bring a vertical line down, close that off. Okay. Okay. So we have two of the 3 dimensions that we need to define this 3D box or this cube. Okay. The next dimension is its depth. So I'm going to just pick out here and draw a line. Am I still drawing black? I am. So from here, I'll just draw down. And so now I have the front face and a side face. What I need to do is finish and get a bottom face. And to do that, I'll need another line that goes back to the vanishing point. So I'll switch colors, back to gray. I'll go from this corner, and I'll just draw it right to that vanishing point. And there it is. Now, this line that goes across the bottom, it's the same rules that we've been doing all along. It just needs to go from this corner, and it needs to be perfectly horizontal. Anything else is not following the rules and won't be drawing a box that's useful. Now, from these intersections, I can now finish this box. I'll just make this go to the corner, and I'll draw another one from here to here, and this box is done. I think I can make that line go up a little too far down. There we are. That looks good. And let's do the same for this. So I will switch to gray and go from this corner back. Put it right in that same spot. And I think I'll use my arrow key to adjust a little. There, that looks better. And I'll change my line back to black. And I'll say this box goes back quite a ways, so I'm going to put it right there. Put a vertical line. and then I'll click away because I want to start. And I have to start from this corner to define this next line. When we draw these, sometimes when you draw a couple points of your line, you've defined all of what's going to be the dimensions of that box. In other words, once I've defined where I'm on this line, back here, all of the other lines are based on this distance, this depth, this measure away from the front face. Okay, let's continue. See if we can, we still have black, good. I'll go here, I'll draw in, finish this. I'll draw from here. And I think I can hold the control key, zoom out on this side, zoom in on this side, and we'll have shifted my drawing over. There. So I think I've finished that box. Good. Hold the control key and I'll do the roller of my mouse, zoom out there, and I need a vertical line here. So let's make this one have that depth. And I'll add my other two lines from this corner and this corner. Now, hopefully you've noticed that there's a difference between the box I've just completed and the other two, and that is on the other two, this box, it's below the horizon line, I can see the top of the box. And this box up here, above the horizon line, I can see the bottom of that box. I can't see the top because it's, well, it's in an orientation where we normally wouldn't. That's going to answer or solve the problem of why can't I see neither the top nor the bottom of this one? And it's because that the angle is coming straight across and we can't see the top of it because it's above the horizon line. And for the same reason, we can't see the bottom of this box. Okay, so those are three boxes with a single point perspective, a vanishing point. For an exercise, what I'd like you to do is add three more lines. I'll draw them in roughly the place I want you to put them. We're going to make three more boxes. I'd like you to draw three more boxes. One here, and one there. And you can add construction lines and get your boxes. Oh, one more hint. If I were to use a paint bucket, you don't have to do this, but if I were to use a paint bucket and pour that light gray paint everywhere, and then replace it with white, and pour it again, and replace it with white, what it does is it mixes, that gray mixes with the lines, and when I turn all of the light gray back to white, it takes away all the lines. Looks like one of my lines was a black line. Oh well. So that's what you can do when you're done with your boxes, but we're not there yet, so we'll put it back. Okay, and that's all.